I need you to do everything you can to help this team win. I need you to do everything you can to make Major League Baseball better because everybody gets an opportunity to be in the playoffs. This is your time.
So I want to bring up some specific names. I want you guys to each throw out at least a name or two of some fringe trade deadline players to think about that could get traded. They don't have to get traded. You think they should get traded. And you can pick a destination for them as well. I'll kickstart one. I'm curious if the money will be taken on by another team, even though it's crazy to think that this is a topic of conversation. I could see the Rays buying and selling. They've essentially said that they're going to do that. I've heard some public comments from Matt Neander, who runs the front office there, and it sounds like they'll do a little bit of both if they stay on this course. What about Zach Eflin for a team that's always worried about their budget, and he's making the rest of his $11 million this year, $18 million next year? The Rays have a good number of starting pitching coming back for next season, including Shane McClanahan, who's a Cy Young candidate when he's healthy. They've got names coming back towards the end of this year, like a Drew Rasmussen, who can be a starter again next year. You know, Springs, Bradley's been great for them, right? They've got a pretty good looking rotation. They're always able to churn out starters. I think it would be in their best interest. The hesitation I have, Kratz, is which team will take on that kind of money. I know it sounds crazy because I think that Eflin stuff-wise, when he's healthy, is worth that. There's been past injury concerns with the back. You know, he's been on the IL each of the past 2 years with that issue. He's got a chronic knee issue, but this is a dude that can win playoff games for me. So I'm curious if you think that would be a good name, say for the Dodgers, if they don't end up getting Crochet, if that's who they're after.
Here's the value in Eflin. He's been to the World Series. Now, what people don't remember, he wasn't a starter in the World Series. He was a starter the entire year, and he came in, and he was lights out in the bullpen. And it was giving them, the Phillies, some length when he did that. And to me, I think it's a great, great move. I think it is a great move for the Brewers also because of the ability that they have to extract value from pitchers. But I think I think the Dodgers are going to be playing in an upper tier of pitchers. You know, I feel like he's kind of more like in the Paxton range with a little bit more experience. And Paxton's left-handed, so I think that adds to it a little bit more. So I don't know that the Dodgers are there, so I'm kind of selling it that he would go to the Dodgers. To me, I see him as slotting in. Even before, Cam had mentioned the Cardinals, like teams like that. Do the Pirates need a fourth guy? I see him sliding in there. I don't necessarily see the Dodgers.
Any other teams in mind?
I really didn't want to spend this whole show agreeing with Kratzy today, but I don't know why it's starting off this way. But I'm with Kratzy, seriously, and I stay in the Central. And you said a team that I think nobody's thinking about right now. I think the Pirates are in really good shape right now to add a guy like that. You know, the payroll isn't in bad shape. That's a deal they can afford to add. You talk about what Paul Skeens, they're starting to believe that they're changing that culture. And they're starting to believe that, hey, with this new format, we do have the team that we may be a starter, maybe one more bat away from really making some noise coming down the stretch in the Central. So I look at the Pirates, and the Brewers, of course, was a team that I was looking at, the way they are able to develop pitching. And you talk about a guy with experience, but I'm going to stick with the Central and go with the Pirates. I think the Pirates would be a great fit for him, and I think he would bring some much-needed veteran leadership along with what Paul Skeens and company has, helped provide in that city, and that's a little bit of energy and juice.
I'm going hard after Cam today. And it's always about money, but I don't see it for Pittsburgh only because I don't think they'll take on money like that. They're cheap as hell. That's just how they operate. I would look at Boston as another idea because they're going to bring on a veteran arm. I would look at St. Louis. They're looking for veteran starting pitching depth. And I would look at Houston. That's another team that's they desperately need pitching. And these are teams that would bring on some cash because think about it. You have to talk your owner into taking on what? $4 or $5 million for the rest of this year. And then a guy you'll be on the hook for next year who's good. So that's where I'll go against you, Cam. I think Pittsburgh is more into a bat, and I don't see them taking on a ton of money right now at the trade deadline. But we'll see. You got a name?
For me, Nick Martinez. I think that's a guy, a veteran guy, and I look at the Yankees, guys that need some back end, back end, possibly a guy that can start as well. I think Nick Martinez is the type of arm that somebody desperately needs. And again, it seems like we're staying in the Central, but again, another team that could use a Nick Martinez is the Milwaukee Brewers. I think he would fit in there perfectly. I think he has the type of experience that they need. I think he gives them a different type of length. So that's a guy as well when you talk about the Reds and where they are, like you said, not really in sell mode, but because of roster crunch situation, they might have to get rid of a guy. And I think you look at a guy like Nick Martinez that somebody should definitely be highly interested in bringing in to kind of help bolster a rotation.
I don't know if we're only going pitchers here for our fringe players, but I think a lot of teams need a little offense. And a guy that's producing.
I thought we were talking arms right now. Yeah.
Go anywhere. Go anywhere. No, go anywhere.
Kevin Pillar.
I like it.
Kevin Pillar. How is he not? And then maybe he doesn't fit the criteria of fringe guys that are going somewhere.
He doesn't. He's getting traded, dude.
Okay. But
you think he's going to stay with the Angels?
What about Jonathan India?
That's more of a fringe to me because they don't have to trade him.
Exactly, but okay. Jonathan India, that's a fringe guy to me who it seems like the last year they've been trying to get rid of him almost. At least that's what the whispers seem like, and he seems like a great guy. He's showing you right now he has a ton of good baseball in him, extremely versatile. That's a guy, too, that they could be willing to, when you look at what they have up the middle, and Steer, Ailey, Candelario, like that could be a guy that, I think we're talking about maybe on the move that could quietly help somebody improve in a big way.
Good question, by the way, from Armand asking if Nick Martinez's option for next year hurts him. Unfortunately, in the climate that we're at, yes. Even though he's been solid, he's a swingman. You think no, Kratz? Or you're just shaking your head? It's going to rule out certain teams just because he's committed to money. That's just how it works. Options screw up trades sometimes. It's what makes someone like Cody Bellinger so complicated right now. If he was coming back and you're worried about, how he's going to look injury-wise, obviously he's been out for a decent chunk of time, but this is the end of the ride, okay. But because he has player options, it makes it very complicated. So, yeah, I mean, Nick Martinez is a little more simple, but he does have, the option for next year opt-outs. So, and I think it's $12 million for 2025. So some teams will balk at that name. Why, by the way, I know we rudely interrupted you. Why do you think Pillar's fringe, Pillar, and obviously he's not going to say this publicly yet, but if this is his last season and he's riding it out, the Angels, he'll be okay, but he'll be a little pissed because why wouldn't he get dealt and be a fourth or fifth outfielder for a team?
Absolutely.
He should be. He should be. But when the articles come out about, well, we don't know who we're going to actually trade, I'm afraid the Angels are going to keep him. But my other name was Patrick Wisdom with the Cubs. I feel like there's never an opportunity for this guy to just fully flourish his power, an opportunity for a team that's trying to stay in it, but they're like, we don't want to go too much into the contract. The part that pissed me off more about what you were saying, I was shaking my head about the whole option thing. If Nick Martinez is the guy and he has an option, if Cody Bellinger is the guy that your team tags as hey, you know what? We are 2.5 games out of the playoffs right now. If we add him to our lineup, if we add him to our rotation, he gives us so much value. You need to go and stop balking at that stuff.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. That's where I agree with Kratzy. And we're talking about Major League Baseball. It's one thing to not want to spend money. It's another thing to have money to spend. These teams have money. So, like Kratzy said, it comes a point where are you as an organization? If this is the guy that could help you possibly win this year, and look at what the Diamondbacks did. Hey, if a Nick Martinez can help you do that, why would you not take a chance? I don't even say take a chance. It's not even taking a chance. Listen, it's big league baseball. Nick Martinez is not costing you that much money when you talk about the bigger picture. That's a guy that could help you possibly get to the World Series and win you a championship. Why would you balk on that move? And that's where I get it, Scotty, but it makes no sense to me from a player perspective. If we're trying to win, if I'm a guy and I'm going, hey, we could use that guy, I'm thinking winning and winning only. But I get it. That's not where the climate of the game is either.
This is my last comment on this, and then I'll stop because it irritates me. Everyone looks at the expanded playoffs as, oh, well, now just everybody, it's watering it down. It gives everybody an opportunity. So now when I give you an opportunity, if I give you a job, if I give you a chance on a team, strike. We are one Nick Martinez short. We're going to go get Nick Martinez. We don't want to give up a prospect to get us to the playoffs because it'll give up, we'll give up Jackson Holiday. And that's not why we have the expanded playoffs. The expanded playoffs is so everybody has a chance. Now it's the team's chances to do something about it.
I want to throw out more names, okay? So let me go to the Yankees for a moment. They have some players that are struggling. I know some Yankee fans want to get rid of players that are not performing well. Most of those are probably not possible. Like if you're frustrated about the offense from DJ LeMahieu, I think Gleyber Torres could have value and could be a change of scenery guy and be into it. I think if they have a conversation with him, he might say, yeah, I mean, this is free agent year. This is his time to shine. He's still very young. Could he go elsewhere? And I'll give you one other name at the same time, Kratz, and you can start. Nestor Cortes. I know, the Yankees need a high leverage reliever. They need an offensive boost in multiple spots. After their top end prospects like a Dominguez and a Spencer Jones, it does start to shallow out a little bit. Many teams need starters and might look at Cortes as a guy that can start a playoff game for them, while the Yankees might say, we have some other guys that we favor in that range. They've done this before. They did this with Jordan Montgomery, even though they kind of made the wrong call for Harrison Bader. So what do you think of those two names potentially getting flipped to other contenders, baseball trades?
Nestor, no. Gleyber, yes. I would actually go to the outfield. And when they made Gleyber, I don't know that the value that they're going to get back will eclipse what they think he could do in this second half here as the second half gets underway. To me, they had a surplus of outfielders when they traded for Grisham, when they have Verdugo, when they have a healthy Giancarlo. Because right now they have two spots in the outfield. So to me, I think they're going to see what kind of value they can get from Verdugo or Trent Grisham. And I think they honestly would love to keep Grisham around because I think they could get more from Verdugo. So if they are going to trade one of those guys that's every day in their lineup, and this lineup was legit a month ago. So don't give me the whole, they're a little old, all this stuff. To me, I think they're just going through a blip in the road.
Yeah, I'm right on with Kratzy. I think Verdugo, I think he has some value. I think the guy still has some good baseball left. I think he is being humbled by the game right now. New York is an extremely hard place to play, but I think teams see value in him. And as far as Gleyber goes, this is my thing about Gleyber. I think Gleyber would probably carry the most value of any of those guys. But when you start to look at the struggles of this lineup, I'm with Kratzy too. I don't think this lineup is just done. But Volpe has struggled over the last month and a half, maybe longer. DJ has not been himself. Rizzo, who's been out, the first base production has been very scarce. I think Ben Rice is 4 for his last 46 or 47. JD Davis you haven't really got much. When you look at it right now, Gleyber is actually one of the guys who's actually getting hot right now, and you desperately need offense. So right now, I think the Yankees are just in a very difficult situation with the rest of the offense really lacking. That I don't think they can afford to trade Gleyber's bat right now. Gleyber is actually swinging a hotter bat. Now you're looking at what might be the blueprint to pitching to the Yankees offense, and that's not letting Aaron Judge beat you. Hey, if he walks 4 times, oh well, we'll take our chances with Soto and everybody else. And when you look at the lineup, Gleyber is the only bat right now, as I'm watching the Yankees, that I really feels like have a chance, that has an actual chance at bat to do some damage, to drive in some runs. So I just think they're in a hard spot where they can't let Gleyber go. And I think they're going to have to go to a prospect sort of route to try to bring something back, at the break to try to help bolster this team. But I think they can't afford to let Gleyber go offensively.
I'm going to finish with fringe names that could get traded. They don't have to get traded, but they should get traded. And I'm just going to put a blanket over the Toronto Blue Jays. That was awesome, FT fam. We're back. It's Kratz. It's AJ. It's Braun. And we do want to shout out our sponsor today, AG1. Their in-house team of doctors and scientists and researchers with third-party experts on studies that help to validate the benefits of AG1 stand out to us, and that gives you one less thing that you have to research and worry about. And 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. Kratz, you look very alert and well-rested. You might have had a little AG1 to drink this morning already.
It's the game's easy. I actually missed my AG1 this morning. Busy morning this morning. I missed a lot of things, but yeah, I notice a difference when I don't have it. Like, it's almost like, I know this is weird. It's probably not medically sound, but I yawn more in the mornings that I don't have my AG1 by 10 o'clock. Like, it sounds so dumb, but it's like something's just a tick off when I don't have it, because I've been consistently taking it.
I like that. I think, we need more AG1 for Kratz so that he doesn't yawn. That would be
or I just need to take what I have.
Yeah, or that. They're constantly putting their formula to the test. It's trusted by experts and medical professionals, and it's backed by multiple research studies. So you can see it on the bottom of the screen right now, or if you're listening to the pod, take ownership of your health. Visit drinkag1.com/foul, or you can hit that QR code. We'll put that QR code up a few more times during the show here, but it's what we recommend here to support whole body health. And you can start your journey with AG1 by getting a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/foul. Got to go to drinkag1.com/FOUL.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.